here I go, I'm over now. I won't take anything, don't give me anything. Don't want to test, I can't resist. Please stop me when I do it again. Let's talk about nothing, let's talk about nothing. Let's talk about no one, someone, anyone. You and me have a disease. You affect me, you affect me. I'm addicted, you're addicted. You and me, you and me. I'm on the edge, getting up so far. I'm so distracted. There we go. Bad Religion for 300 Trebek. Who we got in here? Lisa D-Man, Matt Downer, Jawara, author of 10 books. HTOK, what's going on to you? Brandon Trueblood, Polska's back. Matthias from Deutschland. What we used to say, I had a girlfriend in from Germany, an exchange student when I was 15. I'd always say, Ich bin steif. I don't know if that still means anything. Or Duba Schlampa. Jim McIntosh is back. Rev's in the house. 75 and sunny and loving it. 66 here today. Supposed to get snow this weekend, though. The Misogynist Man, salute. And we've got Billy the Goat. Man, we've got some serious big-time creators in here. Good to see everybody. I figured, I was thinking about this topic. Reality versus fantasy. That's kind of my theme outside of masculinity and men first. Reality versus fantasy. What is the reality? 2022. That's reality. Attention, fake eyelashes, extensions, plastic, social media, orbiters, simps, divorce, breakups, you can't satisfy him, the cock carousel. That's reality, right? What is the fantasy? The fantasy is this 1950 ideal that we think we can fix if we're just nice enough or do the right thing or hold frame, right? What do you guys think? Neighbor going through a gray divorce. Ooh, unfortunate. Well, I just heard very disturbing news. Neighbors in our old neighborhood that we were friends with back in Oregon took her out. She was 55 and then self-deleted himself. Would never have guessed. Happened last weekend. All over the news, found out she was having an affair. He was a very heavy man. He was a finance guy. She was a public school teacher. Apparently she lost a lot of weight. He didn't. She was having an affair. Money issues, bang, out. So unfortunate. Try to save him, Jawara. Cesar's in the house. What up, yo? Pick it up. Here is some German schlaben me knob. Fuken Grooven. How about those that sticker on like a Volkswagen Bug? Fuken Grooven. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Tyler, never married, never been happier. Never been married, never been happier for 300 Trebek. Yeah. Eddie is back. Robert's in the house. A Texan in Texas. Might as well be is back. Good to have you. Rab, why do you think a lot of men look at women and see them as the one? It's the fantasy. It's the programming. Who's going to have their kids, the Tesla, the white picket fence, biological, nurtured, or media? I think it's both programming. I think it's media. It's the idea. It's like it's the myth of a potential happiness by marrying, right? Dear Mr. Fantasy, turn that shit off. Well, that's a problem. We got a 1950s housewife that that woman, I'm going to tell you something. That woman, my grandmother, was a 1950s housewife, right? And she cooked. She made food from scratch. The TV went off at 5 o'clock at night. maybe after the Dick Van Dyke Show or whoever, the Ed Sullivan Show, it turned off. There was no night TV. They read books, they colored, they play games, they went on walks. And the woman cooked from scratch. She made rolls and potato salad from scratch and beef and everything. Well, I believe that the moment TV dinners came out is when we started seeing a shift, because no longer did they have to cook or prepare. Making dinner was it wasn't an hour long process. It was 2-3 hours. The dough had to rise, the yeast had to set. The marinade had to happen overnight. So Sunday dinners were a big deal. Dinners when the man got home were a big deal. So my take is, as programming increased with television and TV dinners became apparent in the supermarket, they came out as like, oh my gosh, TV dinners are amazing. They're the greatest invention since TV. And what happened? It was easier not to cook, so you didn't have to give to somebody. And that whole cooking dynamic created a trickle effect, right? Washers and dryers weren't big then either. They had to wash them by hand and hang them up on the clothesline. A lot of work. Marcella's in the house. Good to see Marcella. Always makes a great appearance with Cesar and Lisa. Matthias says, feminism makes females depressed. I would agree with that. I don't believe it's helped. It's taken the biological programming from birth and from the creation of time and switched it, saying that they can be men or they can do man things. Now, let's be real. They can do a lot of man things. But in the end, the man and the woman create a dynamic. However, Brad doesn't recommend marriage, cohabitation, or kids for the 98%. 1950s fantasy belongs in syrupy sitcoms. Well said, brother. I Love Lucy. Now it's the Dick Van Dyke Show. Rev pulling it out. Star Spangled Banner played before the screen blanked out to static, usually at midnight. Remember the snow? Lisa Smith. I remember as a kid playing Pong. Pong came out in 71. We were playing it in like 78, 79 on a black and white TV. HDO Kid says it's crazy because it's not the female that's the problem. It's their crazy, bitter, toxic mother that doesn't want to see them happy in a relationship. I agree with that statement. You could trace, if you are going, I tell my boys, if you're going to get married, which I don't recommend it anytime soon, or anywhere because of the reality, go date the mom. Say, hey, lady, hey, girl, hey, whatever her name is, Morgan, what are these new 2000 names? Go, just say, hey, I like you, get away. I want to go meet your mom. If you find out who that mom is, for 98% of the women out there, that mom is exactly what you're going to get. That is the future of your wife. I never believed it, but she became it. I'm sick of Sunday dinners. I miss the Sunday dinners because it brought all of us together, at least for a day. When you have kids, you're raising them, you got sports games at night, practices, school, work, travel for work. And Sundays were the day that we could come together and talk about life. But doesn't happen anymore, really. Polska Bob putting up the pop. By the way, Terrence Pop and I are going to do a collab on Sunday. We're going to talk about all things red pill. More importantly, his view of masculinity based on where he's been, where he is today, and where he's going. I think it'll be a good discussion, especially with him. He's got great experience, especially being a Ranger in the Army. I'm excited to do that. Good dude. I think anything in moderation is good, Matthias. And I think if you can go and fast from anything, fast from video games, fast from fapping, fast from food, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you can go as long as you can, it means you're not focusing on that aspect of yourself that involves, well, a lady. So good for you if you can do it. My mom and her mom did a lot of things Rad is talking about. Yes. I'm telling you, my sisters they're my mother in a lot of ways. Sunday dinner is a big deal in an Italian family. I would agree with that. I mean, Sunday dinners was literally your slice of heaven and peace. That's when, and growing up, I remember my mom would always make roast or fish or some sort of casserole, and it was great, even though we hated it, but we liked it now. You know, 6 kids, mom and dad. Good to see you again, man. Been a minute since I checked in, ready for this conversation. Good to have you. Nothing I remember my parents or grandparents telling me about growing up or being an adult in the 50s sounded like a fantasy. It sounded like a lot of hard work, family unity, and love of America. Lisa Smith. I think growing up the 50s, even though it was a lot of work, there was connection, which we don't have today, right? Connection. Mr. Redonkulous, T-Pop. Even better, I'll make sure to not sleep. I'm going to need you as the, you guys as the wrenches. D-Man, Fast, FJT, Polska. Who else did I give wrenches to? To the modern moms in Ogden. The modern moms in Ogden, they're at the gym. They're at hot yoga. They're at the spa. They're getting their eyes done and their lashes and their extensions in. And they're carrying around a bag of Twizzlers and a bad attitude. G-Tox is back. 72 years of a downhill slide for society and culture at large. Ain't that the truth? Again, reality, 2022. Fantasy, 1950. It's putting a square peg in a round hole. Just doesn't fit anymore. Good to have you, T-Tox. I hope you're doing well. Hope your recovery is going well. You are a victor. We stand behind our brothers. Carl says, what's your sister's marriage success rate? My 2 sisters have been married. My younger 2, my oldest, the oldest sister, who's a year, she's right under me. She's been divorced for 12 years. Still trying to find a guy to marry her. And she left because she had a boring husband. Literally, she was bored of him. Didn't get very far, though. Mysterio from Winnipeg. No, the 6th is Sunday. We're going to do it Sunday. Good to have Mysterio. I finally got his city right. Winnipeg. Can't keep up with Greg's channel. Greg's 9 channels at 3x speed. You got to get a sauna blanket. That way you sit in there for a half hour, put them on 2.5 speed, and get through 80% of it. Polska promises not to throw him back during the stream. Brandon Trueblood, not me. I don't want a stinking wrench. Thought I gave you one. The big thing for me is there's no principle or morals or values anymore, and the parents don't teach it. It's just completely forgotten. You're right. Morals, I mean, again, I believe it goes back to the TV dinner. I mean, the TV dinner, what came out in the 40s, I think TV kind of still fostered a good family value system. The Ed Sullivan Show. Remember, they didn't like Elvis twerking in 1953. Unfortunate for you, Carl. Timmy Kramer, the forever bachelor. I enjoy watching women, see them spend every last nickel and no thoughts of saving for retirement. Yeah, my mother-in-law, she spent everything and then some. Right? The misogynist man says no marriage for America. If you're big, you want to go east. There you go. So is it really great for men and women in the 50s? I think there is. Here's what I think about the 50s. There was culture. People worked hard. You had to. There was no dishwashers in the 50s, right? There were no microwaves. I think microwaves are just starting to appear. You know, you have very limited options of what you could do. So I think people connected. Now, were there douchebags? Sure. Were there monkey branches? Of course. Monkey branches have been around from day one. But I think people tried harder in those days and had more connection. No marriage if you want to go east. There you go. Yeah, not wrong. CGA, you know, it's funny. There's some days I'm like, I can't listen to Coach Greg Adams. A lot of it's similar, but what he does for me is, number one, he's funny, but he also continues. That's some of my daily red pills. Aren't TV dinners fattening unless you get Healthy Choice? They're full of salt. Supposedly March is Women's Month or something. And you know what? You got Women's Month, Tuesday nights, Ladies' Night, Saturdays free skiing for the lady. What do the guys get? Howard Pratt. we live in a 304 culture. You said it right, my friend. Good to have you in the chat. Going pretty good, Rad. I'm scheduled to get a left leg prosthesis come June if healing stays on track. Oh, well, I'm glad everything's moving. I mean, I'm just glad technology in 2022 was going to allow you to be, not miss a step, in terms of moving forward. Good to have you. Shout out to T-Talks. Do you ever feel that, what do they call it? Phantom leg syndrome is what I hear that happens. I think budgeting and saving and learning to do taxes is more important in math than trigonometry. I think you're right. I think you should understand what goes in and what goes out in terms of the finance accounting. Women are no investors. They are rather consumers. Matthias, well said, brother. If you want to create a product, I would only market to ladies, especially the 98%. I think the 50s was a heck of a lot more structure and expectations. We have more options now, but is anyone happy? You're correct. More structure, expectations. People worked hard. Now, were personalities still problematic? Absolutely. But at least you had a little bit. Again, people didn't get married for the majority for love. They got married to build families. Because my grandparents were born in families with 14, 15 kids that had farms, that milked the cows at 3 a.m. Dishwashing was a job in the 50s. One of my very first job was in an elderly retirement center at age 14. I could work at age 14 as a dishwasher. Oh, that sucked. All that lipstick on those glasses that women would drink out of, the old blue hairs. Ugh. Coach Greg on 50 hours a week across all channels. Yeah, it's just too much, but he's making a living off those super chats. Reaper Black Pill. I think that Facebook and the smartphone really made feminine roll fast. You 1,000% with that statement. I completely agree. The last 8 years from when iPhone 4 and Instagram came out. Yep. There will never be a man's day or a men's week, only Father's Day. And apparently there had been a group that wanted to cancel Father's Day. Alexandra Banderas. Tell me you're real. Mujer leal. Real. In the 50s, if something was broken, they will fix it. Now they just throw it away. Applies to anything. Yes. If you buy appliances today, good luck getting them out. Good luck getting 5 years out of them. We had a refrigerator. I remember buying a Samsung GE refrigerator, stainless steel bottom freezer. Damn, 18 months the warranty went out. 18 months the frozen water dispenser went out. It's like $400. Well said, Alexandra. Those things lasted because people worked hard to build things that last. His quick hits channel. I mean, he spends a lot of time. I mean, he deserves what he gets. The financial. I mean, I don't have 30 hours to do that. Good for him. I do like his stuff. Jimmy Johnny, Brad is the man. We just all sharing experiences. Jimmy Johnny, where are you from? I don't have a dishwasher. I do it by hand. I used to have a dishwasher until it broke down. I like to wash by hand. There's something about doing something physical. You don't have to do it all the time. Especially me, I don't have a lot of dishes, Paperboy at 15 years old. Back in the day, man. Looks like the school's calling. Women have the license to lie. Females can express their culture while society, also known as women, work very hard to suppress the man's culture. Well, we just live in a society where it occurs. It's female nature. We just don't hate on it. We understand it. With no wife, children, or girlfriend, money is stacking. Good for you, Joara. You selling your stuff still in Walmart? JR in the house. Good to see JR. Brad made the mistake of getting attached to a woman at work. That's right. You don't get attached to a woman at work. I didn't want to because I knew it was a bad idea, but I was too nice to say and keep more of a distance. She's backed up. Never dip your pen in the company ink, and that's literally and figuratively. Good to have Teddy Boy from the UK. Yeah, I got an episode of Phantom every couple weeks. Seems to be mainly at night, so I can't sleep. Ow. Well, we're here for you. We're here for you, brother. Salute to you, Hemi. Good to see you. Did America ever have Country Kitchen or Ponderosa? Basically a buffet place. We had Country Kitchen. King's Table was a place where I grew up that was a buffet. You know. Silver Bullets in the house. Good to see you, brother. Gnostic by choice. Women need turmoil and uncertainty to stay interesting. Well, I don't disagree with that. As soon as they know you're in love, they lose interest. Correct. For 98%. Yes, I would agree with that statement. In Ecuador, Ecuatoriana. Good to have you. You grew up in the 70s. Same with me, 70s and 80s. Welcome to the chat. This is the first time we've had you. Are you in Quito, Guayaquil? Where are you at? Billy the Goat. We get a Men's Health Month, apparently, I guess, to recover from all the beatings. Let the beatings begin. Remember that? Dax in the house, the man, the myth from Canada as well with his stereo. My dishwasher divorced me. And you didn't replace her, did you? Good for you. Good to have Dak back. I appreciate Dak in the channel as well. Appreciate all the guys, all the content creators. Would you move back? I'm looking at Cuenca area to expat. I don't know about Cuenca. A lot of old folks go there. I would say, I mean, it's up in the mountains, right? So there's a lot of cool things. I think the cost of living, I don't know. It might get a little boring. I need more of an ocean area. Guayaquil, Barriles, La Paz, Santa Marta in Colombia. Rev says, I bagged groceries all summers in 93 to save up for my first car, an 82 Mustang. It was a piece of shit, but it was mine, and it was a accomplishment that you'll never forget. My very first car I bought when I was 14, 1986. My dad knew I loved Datsun 510s. It was a 1969, the same one that Paul Newman raced in his racing circuit. It was primered. I put a new engine in it. I bought carpet. I mean, I remember that. And I earned the money. I paid $500 back then. And I put about $1,200 into it. Bought a new engine out of Japan. Well, I used one. My uncle told me, my aunt back in the day, that she didn't need a dishwasher because she had 3 girls for my cousins. It was a while, but he eventually bought a portable one. Yeah, portable one. There you go. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Wash cars in the Sun City in high school. I told all the customers we were a church group, but the money went right in our pockets. Attaboy. That's how you do it. My buddy has a live-in girlfriend. He had to postpone wing night because of lack of funds. He has kids. I don't get it. There you go. Dax got the house. Attaboy. He'd be interested today. Lisa, DHS would get involved, and another parent heard that. Oh, yeah. My grandfather always said, even when we were little, we'd ask him, Granddad, what was your first car? He'd say, my first car was a horse. Evel Knievel was the king and did whatever he wanted. Yeah, him and Steve McQueen. Marlon Brando. Paul Newman. When are the laws going to change? I don't think anytime soon. I don't think anytime soon. We used to call the country kitchen the country cockroach. I heard from a friend of mine that says, based on the year you get divorced in Utah, there's a tax on child support that men are paying to keep the woman, to get her even more money in Utah. It didn't happen with me, but that's weird. I'm in Maryland, been here for 40 years. Wow, my mother grew up in Bethesda. My brother lived in, what's the place? Rock something. Real well-known place in Maryland. Good to have you. I appreciate this community. We appreciate you being here. I grew up on Sweden House. It's our version of the buffet in the Midwest. There you go. Matthias, how and where do you find the 2%? What you do is you write what you want on a piece of paper, and then you put it in a bottle, and you throw it out in the ocean. And if it comes back to you, it'll be attached to a mermaid. And that mermaid will be a unicorn. And we will study that. And that'll be your 2%. Now, the reality is they're hard to find. You don't look for them. Typically, if you're in a club or you like to do things, a hobby, maybe you'll meet one there. I used to subscribe to Men's Health magazine. So did I, but it seems really simpy, doesn't it? A passport is man's best friend right after a dog. Couldn't have said it better. Love my passport. Chris Mitchell's in the house. Gnostic by Choice says, my girlfriend admitted she gets ignored by guys. She likes them more. I remember going on a date with a gal. I said, who is the guy that you really like? The guy that, and she said, the guy that never gave me attention. He ghosted me. I remember those days. Solid family units were as far as you could see. Oh, yeah. I remember when a friend of mine, got divorced. His parents got divorced. It was like the weirdest thing. Sunday roasts where the whole family attended. They were making a movie based on the character that Steve McQueen played in Bullet. Big fan of Steve McQueen. Big fan of early Paul Newman. Oh, Paul Newman stuff. Marlon Brando, although he was whacked out. Rockville, that's what I'm talking about. Good. Are you from Rockville? Did you get married to an American? Are you married? Or did you marry someone from Ecuador or Latin America? I used to live in Bethesda, a nice little town. Yeah, my mother grew up and she worked on Pennsylvania Avenue for a law firm. What's the average child support payment? In Utah, you're looking at about $550 per kid, based on your income and the income disparity between both the father and mother. So, but it's sketchy. Preteen girls to watch channel. The problem is, someone said that. We got to get the Gen Z watching it. They're not programmed. I mean, they're programmed. They grew up on the internet. They grew up with something in their hand. We never grew up with that. We don't understand. Now, a lot of Generation X, Gen X folks are addicted to their phones. They're addicted to attention. And, it is what it is. But these kids, they just speak a different language. Mentally, emotionally, and physically. They're just different. I mean, even talking to my kids, it's hard. I have to tell them to put the phone down and look at me and talk to me. Look at my eyes. This is what you do if you have kids. You want to get them to talk, you ask them open-ended questions. Hey, what 2 things did you learn in school today? Hey, what do you think about that new law that just was passed? Or whatever. That's the only way. If you ask them yes or no questions, how you doing? Fine. Yes. No. Got to open-ended questions. My mom worked for a law firm in DC, but was also a caterer. Well, good. And you go back to the 50s. In the 50s, people worked. There was pride in creating a family dinner. There was pride in getting dressed up for a family dinner. You had to go and wash up. My parents used to say, go up and wash up, clean up, take that dirty shirt off, and eat. Now, you show up, just basically, with a bunch of sawdust on you and what have you. And there's just not a lot of structure or connection anymore would be the word. They wouldn't watch anything other than a 30-second TikTok. And I think 30 seconds is too long. They're either brain dead, dialing in, or have ADHD. No, I deal with healthcare. So they're bored of the overstimulation is a lot of it now. That's a huge issue. They're also the attention span. ADHD, I remember my brother, he was born in 1980. Apparently he had ADHD in the early 90s. Well, 89, 90. No one knew what the hell that was. And now I see these kids today. Everybody's got it to some extent, but these kids, they're glued to their phones. Literally 2-second TikToks are what maintain their what have you. Dak, you talking about Oki? Didn't he up a new one? Yeah, subscribe to his new channel. I'm telling you, YouTube is I don't want to say what country they're acting like from the 40s, but they sure are. Children are susceptible to the conditioning through tech. JR, I got a buddy that's got 2 kids, 8 and 3, and I said, take the iPad, take all that crap out of their hands. Do not let them use your phone. You'll never get them back. And he's letting them all be techie. That's what they do. It's fine. They can play Clifford the Big Red Dog on the iPad. Well, 99%, Matthias, is useless. Yes. Sorry to say that's the cold hard truth. That's why we're here talking. Black Tiger, good to see you. Black Tiger, where are you from? MGTOW Cowboy, back. Did I say hey to MGTOW Cowboy? They will delete anyone. Oh, yeah. They will. Those are the facts. I'm entitled for two title IVDs this month. Thanks for being here, everyone. I look forward to connecting with everybody here on the chat and listening to everyone's stories and experience and their thoughts and opinions. And this is how we get through life. Again, I could probably go to a restaurant. All you guys would be hanging out, cheering each other with some Bush Light or Natty Light where Carl lives, or Kokanee Moosehead where Dak lives, or Labatt's where Mysterio lives, or Yingling where the guys on the east live. But we would all hang out. We'd be like instant friends. You know what I'm saying? Do you have any friends that are cops? No. No, I don't. Glad I'm not on TikTok. I wish YouTube has a feature of messaging people to be friends with them. How old are you, Black Tiger? We used to solve ADHD with a paddle at school. My dad had a stick, and we were good, and then he burned it. And then we were bad, and then we had a belt. Oki told me last night it was medical. Jeez. Be careful. Beirut, Lebanon. Wow. I love Lebanese food. Are you kidding me? Baba Ganoush. What else? God, my memory's been crap today. Baba Ganoush. Hummus. What's the one that's got the parsley, tomatoes, and onions in it? Oh, so good. Zay the Smooth in the house. Good to see you. I think if anyone has to complain to get another channel, they should have to pay a fee. Now, you could say anything and they'll just delete you. Oh, he's a misogynist. Delete him. How would the youngest kids today act if they had to use a house phone? I don't even think they know what one looks like. Lisa, no caller ID. Would they be able to memorize phone numbers? I remember getting caller ID first, and we didn't have the digital phone. We had to get one of those little digital units that sat next to the phone. You guys remember that? I married an Ecuadorian, but my ex decided after 32 years of marriage to start a new life. Your video helps me keep grounded to my divine feminine and realize how males get. Well, we appreciate you being here. It's not common for men to divorce women. 20% of men file for divorce. And you seem like a feminine woman. Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're here. Black Tiger, 40 years old. Well, they don't like, if it doesn't go along with their narrative, they get rid of people. Right? D-Man, you can come hang out in the woods if you need to get away. Why not try something Japanese like miso soup for breakfast? I'm a fan of Japanese. I'm a fan of all foods. Love me some Japanese miso soup. I love curry and Thai and sakuras and papusa from Guatemala. Indian food. Mexican, I love Mexican. I love Latin food. Ethiopian food's not too bad. You got to eat with your fingers, and they got that weird bread, but it's all right. They don't know that telephone hand signal. Like this. I like that Thai curry with beef, chicken, and shrimp. That's good stuff. Can relationships ever work long term? Well, look at people getting divorced after 25 years. 5 years. I don't know. I think early on in life, no. No, if you're a 22-year-old guy dating a 20-year-old girl, it's over. I'm sorry. It's a cold hard truth. Maybe later in life, if you find a 1% to 2%. Women are obsessed with climbing the corporate ladder. A lot of old women in the making, lonely. You hit it on the head. But see, my sister is a corporate woman. and she works for a university. But she's dating a guy that lives 3,000 miles away. They fly back and forth and so forth. But at the end of the day, a lot of women are lonely. They're lonely because and they put all of their energy into their dogs, cats, credit cards, and box wine, and Twizzlers, and Cheez-Its, and, and their work. And that's where they are. A lot of women become dog moms, and that's their boyfriend. Right? So Mike P says pho is great. I love pho. Love me some Vietnamese food. And it looks like we got Dak got a strike. I got a warning. I got a warning because I did a stream that said men and women are not blank qual. E and then QUAL. Well, it's just true. We don't have the same physical bodies. We have different brains. We're not in that regards. Mr. Smith in the house. Good to see you. Give me some curry shrimp any day and some pad thai. Damn right. Red curry, pineapple curry, pumpkin curry, masman curry, yellow curry with the potatoes. Oh, Mexican food is wonderful, my friend. Especially with fresh squeezed lime and fresh guac. I want to go to Thailand, and I think everything's opening up, but we'll have to see what happens with the flights going over in that neck of the woods with Russia. Dak spreading lies again. The Rev. Have you ever been impressed with a highly educated woman? I have not. Again, we don't care what degrees they have. We don't care their accomplishments in life. We only care about being respected and more the physical, being appreciated. I've had a couple conversations, but typically it's bent their way. Tried ox knuckle bone soup. It's a good eating. That sounds good. I'm in Kansas. I would use the shit out of that tractor. I'm digging my house foundation now. Kansas City, Missouri. Who else is in Kansas? Lisa. My nads would totally be drained in a week. Carl says, every highly educated woman I've met had a chip on her shoulder, but it was interesting to watch her reaction when a broad-based topic came up and she knew little of the details. Well, we've run into those as well. We just understand them. How hot do you like your hot sauce? I go hot. Hotter the better. And the Thai cooks look at me and they're like, I go, how many stars? How many stars you got? 5, 6. That's what I tell them. Hotter than the chefs like it. Mike P, ever had buffalo burgers? I did. In fact, I had bison burgers 2 weeks ago. Delicious. Bison and buffalo are lean meat. Polska says Mexican and Italian are great. I love chips. I love me some chips and salsa. The thin chips, the really thin and wonderful hot spicy salsa. I love mango salsa, you name it. There's a place in Park City, maybe Rev and I will go out there. Got 20 different salsas. I'm on a fast today too, my brother. Hitting 48. I got another 15 hours to go and I'm hitting 48. 90% of women over 30 live with dogs for 300. Trebek. Joara says they live with dogs. See what Mr. Smith says. Male feminists and women are not only equal, but are interchangeable. Ain't that the truth? That is the truth. Male feminists are interchangeable with women feminists. Yeah, they're just women with appendages below their waist. I'm getting a 6-piece, 6-ounce sirloin tonight. Delicious. I don't put anything on my steak. I eat it as is. I used to put A1, but now I enjoy the wonderful taste of beef. I think Ukraine should surrender and the NATO should stay out of the conflict. Otherwise, there is a chance of WW3, says Matthias. I'm a fan of peace. It's an interesting world over there. Italian is good tortellini. You guys are making me hungry, and I'm on a 33-hour fast right now. Does meat taste different outside of the USA? I think so. I think it depends. I mean, I think, where there's no USDA It's definitely different in South America. A lot of hormones. If a woman doesn't talk on a date, I'm bored. Well, you're not alone, my friend. Those thin term chia chips that do a number even on the roof of your mouth, they cut you up, don't they? They cut you up. Meat in Mexico is a funkier taste. Yeah, I do. It's just different water, different all sorts of things. Tenderloin, sirloin, I have enough flavor. I don't use it. I love me some tenderloins, Mike P. If you were Ukrainian, would you surrender if your homeland was invaded? I wouldn't. It's interesting to see what's out there. What the media is telling us. With Chris Cantu, our guy, is in Ukraine. I think he just picked up a piece of metal that he can use to defend himself. But Rev had to take his vids down. Rib Grunt is in the house. Good to see you. Dak says what they feed the cow. Canadian beef is delicious. I'll tell you that. When we were up in Alberta a few years back before the divorce, we went to her father's hometown outside of Lethbridge, and it was good eating. Corn-fed, grass-fed is the best. Absolutely, Silver Bullet. Absolutely. That's where we're at, guys. We got to be strong. We got to stand forward. We need to be strong men that stand up for what we believe in. Absolutely, Rib. Most women that I know almost can't have situations where they can be silent and quiet and listen. A man likes peace, quiet, and freedom. Radicalized online's in the house. Good to see you. How about Wagyu beef? Love it. Love me some Wagyu beef. Jason Reed is making an appearance in the chat. Good to have you. I would agree Canadian beef is where it's at, and same with Kobe beef. Japanese beef, right? Is it Kobe? Yeah. Do you hold the weight after fasting? Never tried. I'm a bit scared. No, I mean, you'll lose water weight, but you'll be down 2-3 pounds. Easy, maybe 4 or 5. Then you drink water, a little bit will come back. I mean, you can go more. I mean, I've done 8 pounds, but 3 of it was water. 4 of it was water. But you feel better. Your skin tightens up. It's more health related. You reset your metabolism. Human growth hormone is wonderful with it. When it comes out, you've got autophagy happening. So I like it even more than the weight loss. Churros. I could go for some churros too, JR. I rarely hear my men friends that they are bored. Well, I think most guys that don't have anything to look forward to get bored, right? A lot of guys get bored if they're not with a woman. Do you think I'm doing wrong if I insist to pay for dinner on a date? I just want it to be fair. I don't think that's wrong at all. And if he just says not to, then just follow his lead. At least you offer. Most don't. Good for you, Alexandra. Fasting is a way to toggle yourself to a great weight. It is. It resets your metabolism. It resets your immune system. It's amazing. Let's face it, beef is the cheese as long as it's grass-fed. I agree with that statement. Dak. Dak's getting a little coy out there. Dak's comment about Canadian blank for 300 Trebek. I would never date a feminist. They are liberal, crazy, uneducated about reality, and think money fall from trees. Well, many feminists have I gone on date with, and many feminists have returned multiple messages after I have not. However, you do not want to be with them for more than 2 hours. And the first of being half hour. Japanese love their churros. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that I've had women say, no, I'm paying my half, which tells me they're a feminist, which is fine. I'm not going to deal with them anymore, so they might as well pay their half. I've had women buy my dinner, the first dinner. I've purchased the majority of the dinners if I decide to go out, and I don't go to a very expensive place, $10-12 a plate. I'm out for $40, or we just do appetizers. Rib grunt, that's rare for a woman to want to pay. It is rare, but I've had several Well, not several, under 5. Dak, the Duke of Nasty. That's funny. Okay, I have to get to a seminar. Good talking to you. Enjoy the chat. Again, does it frustrate you that liberals are sinking the country and pretending high gas prices, high crime are in our minds? Of course. Of course it does. It's ridiculous. Again, reality versus fantasy, right? Dak says he's got great Celexa Pro vids. I saw that one today with the gal in the wired movement glasses. Crazy. George P. back. Good to see you, George. Hope you're doing well out in London. Africa or Japan? Where would you go if those were your choices? I really want to visit Japan. Maybe for like 3 or 4 days. I love wasabi peanuts. I love wasabi as well. Only $40 is what Tom Leica says. Society today give women too much power. Women have bad behavior because the society have lower standards back in the 50s. Correct. Remember, there was a huge boycott over Elvis twerking his hips. Right? Thank you for my wrenches calling out the different content creators in here. Japan 996 culture. I think, yeah, there's a different programming in the Japanese culture as well. The perfection that they have to attain. We got to get some Canadian beef. Africa just seems a little sketchy to me. I don't have really any desire to go there. Maybe in the future. I'm still amazing in modern times, all the hard work men do to impress women when women aren't appreciated. Well, that's a thing. I mean, that's the number one reason that men are turning away. There's no appreciation or respect. Kids want to be entertained. Yes, they do. I have no experience paying for dates because she is the one who pays for my presents. I've been called a narc, but I don't care. Well, good for you for standing on what you believe. I don't think that's a bad way to go either. Right? Japanese men are overworked and overstressed. I would agree. When you are asked to set up dinners for work functions, do you prefer to rent a place? Establishment. I do not. I like to go to places. It's a lot easier. Do you believe in man-made climate change? No. I mean, I believe that we've polluted, but how much is it climate change? I mean, we're a spinning rock in the middle of a universe that is infinite. I've been to China and Japan. I love Japan, and Japanese women are mostly conservative. I'll be going to Egypt and Africa soon. I can't wait to visit the pyramids. Good for you. Do you eat pancakes? I like wheat pancakes. I like me some banana pancakes like Jack Johnson sings about. Japanese women all dress up like young girls, and that's weird. They're just a weird culture there. We had a couple Japanese guys in the chat, and they said that women were very difficult there. I like me some women too. Apartheid and guerrilla rebels still rampant in Africa. Well, yeah, Nigeria, you name it. Japanese women are feminazis in their own way. Look at their birth rate. It's in the toilet. Well, they're saying within the next 3 generations, Japan will most likely be taken over by another country. Canada is known for its beef. We also have a whaling industry too. Ooh, interesting. I've seen Kelly Clarkson earlier by mistake. She was eating and talking at the same time. Disgusting. She is not an attractive woman. She had a great voice and a good career, but she's not attractive. How come it's sexist for a man to tell a woman we want a feminine, traditional woman who will stay home and raise kids? Because that's not the narrative or the programming anymore. That doesn't empower them. Remember, they were fed a lie that they could be a housewife, a mother, a career woman, an amazing wife, go out with their girls, and none of it's true. None of it's true. You either be a career woman or you be a wife and raise kids. I would suggest all women be women that want to raise kids or have a family, but unfortunately, that's not the world we live in anymore. I think they'd be happier, at least the 98%. Japanese men are walking away. They sure are. I watched that movie that Matthew McConaughey did about that forest in Japan where there's a lot of self-deletions. You can leave your laptop and go to the washroom and come back and no one will touch it. Sounds like there's a lot of fear. Lisa Smith, George Carlin told us the planet will shake us off like a bad case of the fleas. Yeah, it might happen. Belgian waffles for me. Belgian waffles for 300 Trebek. George Carlin was based. Yeah, I like this stuff. I prefer date a woman from overseas like Brazil or Mexico because dealing with American women seem dangerous to. Well, I don't think you're going to get anything better. Wherever there's the internet, there's feminism and attention. What about the fertility rate in America? I think Greg Adams said 18% of families now are a nuclear family in the U.S. That means 72% or 82% are either mixed families, divorced families, or single-parent households. Vietnamese women, number one. They're very attractive women, but they're also very crazy. The career woman does not want to pay her own bills. I would agree. I've gone on dates with career women, and they don't want to pay. They want you to pay. R.I.P. George Carlin, right, Dak? Traveling, dude, I just think both men and women have very different natural roles. So absolutely. The liberals have messed the traditional dynamic up, and that's partly to blame why the world is a mess. Well, there's so many different factors. Communism, feminism, you go girl, tension, men being wimps. Men are also responsible for this. We've allowed society to digress into beta male behavior, into weakness. Men. I would throw the blame, the majority of the blame on men. What's the biggest shithole of the U.S.? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of shitholes. California, I'd say Bakersfield is not my favorite. Lancaster, Fresno, and no, Portland's got horrible little areas. Salem, Oregon is shithole. Kelly Clarkson looks like she took a frying pan to the face. Isn't she divorcing her guy and trying to not give him anything? Herbivore men and dry fish women. It is a big problem in Japan. I mean, Japan is the petri dish for what have you. Did I like Kill Bill? I did. I like Quentin stuff. Is it true that the jab is causing infertility in women? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's causing massive issues, Lisa. I'm crushing some beers. What you drinking? Brandon Trueblood, feminism is socialism. I would agree with that. Lisa Smith, let's see, New York, California, New Jersey. I think there's so many shitholes in every state. Most men are slaves of the flesh. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. A liberal recently told me he loves Sleepy Joe. Well, of course. A liberal can do no wrong if you're a liberal. Yep. Good for you for asking them those questions. They don't understand because liberalism is a mental disorder. Father Saunders is back. Good to see you, brother. You're still alive. Good to have you. Good to have Father Saunders. Took a little sabbatical from the gang. I hope you're doing good. Staying busy. I'm doing a collab with Terrence Pop this Sunday. So jump in the chat. I went to high school in Bakersfield. Big ass meth head town. There's a place in Oregon called Medford, but we called it Methford, if you know what I mean. No models leaped off any buildings this week. Well, that's a good sign. Kelly Clarkson got a heavy set. Well, she did. I think she had kids, and maybe the baby weight didn't come off. The DOD released some figures for our female soldiers that's pretty unsettling. Father Pop did something on the female soldiers passing Ranger School since he is a Ranger himself. And it was not a very encouraging video. Trump called Kelly Clarkson fat a long time ago and the media panicked. He wasn't lying about it. He told the truth. See, the truth hurts. When the fantastical version... See, here's this. I got to talk about this. My favorite bird is that it's called. You can't do Coors, though. Coors Light or Coors? In the 50s is the fantasy we all want. What's the reality we really want? Well, here's the deal. People live in their fantastical version of life. It's simple as that. So anything that's truth, that doesn't, the cognitive dissonance between truth and the fantasy, well, the fantasy will always win because they don't want to believe the truth, the evidence, the facts, because it's the feelings that matter. Feelings for 300 Trebek. And that's what you're seeing. The female soldiers are freaking out about the shit show in Ukraine. They thought they were just there to do a regular job and go to the range twice a year or 2 times a year. Yeah, I've watched Pop's video on what his take was. It's very eye-opening. Western men dropped the ball and, as the pimps would say, took their gator boots of women collective necks. The moment you make a woman your equal, she becomes your better. We are not the two lines together. Douglas is in the house. What up to you, brother? Good to have you. Coors and Coors Light have a nasty aftertaste, in my opinion. Have you heard of the Coors Light and Keystone Light being the same beer? Look it up. It's a conspiracy. I actually knew a Coors Molson rep, and he said it was true. It was the same beer. Coors Light's more expensive than Keystone, so if you got 5 shillings to your name after a Friday night work week, you go to the gas station and there's a $5 6-pack, but you only got 3, so you go for the Keystone. They get you either way. The other deal is rum. Bacardi rum and Castillo is the same exact rum. One's $20 a bottle, one's $8 a bottle. And that's the cold hard truth. Many females these days say they're in shape even if they weigh 200 pounds. Huh? Society has allowed them. There's now fat heroes. There's fat Victoria's Secret models. The only way out of that is to not play the game, right? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it is. Taste them both. The number of women who were enlisted became pregnant at the start of the Gulf War. There you go. Double standards for 300 Trebek, Polska Bob. Lord, help me keep my pimp hand strong. Emmy's all about the kokanee. Kokanee is expensive down in the States, right? Looking forward to your collab with Terrence Pop. I got to remind him. He told me to remind him, so we're going to do it at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central. You saw that, Rev, right? Ukrainian women giving up sleeves to Russian soldiers. And I'm hearing Russian soldiers are definitely dialing in Tinder. You haven't put out a video for a while, brother. But soon. Take your time. Fat women on the cover of Cosmopolitan. Yeah, Tess. Who's that Tess chick? AKS. Yeah, let's try something next week, brother. Good to have you. And if you want out of the service when they're pregnant, they get an honorable discharge. I'm sure they get a discharge, if you know what I mean. Kokanee is a hipster beer. The hipster beer down here is PBR and Rainier. Remember Rainier from Washington? Rainier beer. A friend of mine disagreed with a 280-pound black woman about how she said she was hot. You could have a picnic on her hindside. T-Pop and Hammerhand and Rad. Just me and T-Pop. Tess Holiday is her name. Okay, good. I'm glad you saw that. I was going to send you a text. Tess Holiday is not attractive, guys. Do not like suffocation. There were some liberal women who went hiking in Tunisia and ended up getting not seeing the light of the next day. Funny how no invasion to a place like, I wouldn't go over there. I'm not, maybe Morocco, because I like Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart. What did you do after high school on Friday night? My friends and I rode around on our bikes and went to our fort we built. Skateboarded at night till 12 o'clock. Then I have to skateboard all the way home, ate nachos and drank Dr. Pepper and listened to Guns N' Roses. I was with the big girl a long time. She got on top a lot. I'm surprised by mac and cheese. I'm not attracted to larger women. I like a nice, fit, and feminine woman. You don't know the shit I have to do out here when I get it done. All right, brother. I'm going to close up shop here. A male enlistee who initially hurt himself to avoid deployment would be court-martialed. I'm sure he would. Russian soldiers have no problem diving in. Isn't that crazy? They're fighting and they're tendering Ukrainian women. Funny how beer commercials attract attention. Old Milwaukee. There you go, Dak. Tess Holiday. Ugh, disgusting. Element or World Industries? Element. I got an Element board in my garage. D-man. World Industries was Steve Rocco. He was kind of a tool. They got those murder hostels over there. I bet they do. Half Japanese woman and a Latina. Ever been with a non-white woman? No. Yeah. Half Japanese. I just answered that, right? Have a great night. Good to see you guys. Mark Bear says, appetite for destruction. Good to see you, brother. Reaper Black Pill. I saw a commercial yesterday of a woman with a sweet voice telling men that's the biggest thing they can donate. It's not an organ, but semen to a sperm bank. Ah, you're killing me. Morocco is great. All right, Brett, brothers and sisters, we'll see you. Get on Dak's lives and everybody else's lives, and we'll see you on Sunday. Chase excellence, masculinity, men first.